There are 3 steps along the journey of using AI tools like ChatGPT and Google Bard, starting with first, writing good prompts, second, building a habit of applying those prompts in relevant situations, and third, developing a learning plan that future-proofs us in this AI-driven era. So if that sounds interesting to you, let's get started. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jeff. I work full-time in tech, but I have 0 experience in coding and programming. That means my best bet in not getting left behind is to first get good at using tools like ChatGPT, and second, more importantly, create a system that supports continuous learning as AI technology evolves.
AI, generative AI, AI as AI.
And so we start off our prompting careers at the beginner level. This is basically where you regularly browse ChatGPT content and know how useful the tool is. From writing concise emails to crafting comprehensive marketing strategies, and you probably even saved a few prompts for future reference. The problem here is we're not exactly sure why some prompts give us precisely what we're looking for, while other outputs are super generic and unusable. Put another way, we're not able to consistently replicate the good prompts for our own use cases. So to progress to the next level, we need to first understand there are 6 components that make up a strong prompt: task, context, exemplars, persona, format, and tone. Second, there is an order of importance to these 6 building blocks. It's mandatory to include a task in your prompt. It's important to give context and exemplars, and it's nice to have persona, format, and tone. Third, know that you don't need all 6 components to get a good result. As you become more experienced with prompting, you'll know just how much context to give and identify instances where exemplars and format are unnecessary. I have an entire video that goes over the 6 components with specific examples. I'll link it down below. But an exercise you can do immediately is whenever you come across a prompt, see if you can break it down into these 6 components. For example, if you Google best ChatGPT prompts for work and click into one of these search results, you might come across a prompt like this. Explain topic in simple terms. That's the task. Explain to me as if I'm a beginner. That's the context. I know instinctively this is a terrible prompt because if you just add, you are a tenured college professor in the field of economics as a persona, add a bit more context as if I'm a college freshman, and use the tone, use 8th grade English, the prompt will now give a much better output. While I am disappointed in Forbes and their clickbaity titles, unlike my videos, hopefully you can see how just knowing what the 6 components are can help you become a better prompter, which by the way is apparently a real word.
Wow.
Also, this video is not sponsored, but it is supported by those of you who subscribe to my paid community. In addition to weekly productivity tips, you get access to my AMA Ask Me Anything sessions. I'll link more information down below. Now that we've leveled up from beginner to intermediate, we need to start building a habit of applying prompts to our everyday tasks so we can get real value from this skill. The trick here is to first identify a task in your life that's repetitive and something you must do. And second, create and refine a prompt to help with that task. Just like how the best way to learn how to code is to build an actual project. Starting off with a simple personal example, I'm a 70 kg male looking to maintain muscle mass. I can go to the gym 5 to 6 days a week and ideally for 15-minute workout sessions. Context. Please give me a training plan based on the popular PPL, push, pull, leg workout routine, task, and exemplar. Output in a table format so I can easily paste it within a spreadsheet. Format. Looking at this output, most gym bros would agree these exercises look fine. But there's a big problem. A push day should only include push exercises in a single day, meaning these exercises should not be spread out across the week. So we wrote a prompt, we identified an issue with that prompt, so now it's time to refine it. To do this, I'll add another exemplar to the original prompt. For example, a push day includes 5 to 6 exercises aimed at the chest, shoulders, and triceps. And now this completely usable output, push day, pull day, leg day, just saved you the trouble of having to Google PPL routines, figuring out which exercises to do, and formatting a spreadsheet. Pro tip, you can take this a step further by following up with, I don't have a dip machine, please suggest alternatives. And this allows you to easily replace the dip exercise, for example, with one of these options. Moving on to a work-related example. Acts as a senior marketing manager with over 20 years of experience. Persona. You just wrapped up a 3-month-long email campaign aimed at acquiring new leads for Netflix's advertising platform. The campaign acquired 2,300 leads, which is only 80% of the target. Context. Write a short snippet summarizing this achievement, keep it within 200 words, and write in a professional tone. task, format, and tone. So I don't like this output. It's too vague, too formal, like valuable insights will fuel further optimization. Like that's just corporate BS. And I definitely wouldn't use hashtags at work. So I would add this to the original prompt. Share 3 potential areas for improvement, since we did miss the target. Write in a confident tone and do not include hashtags. This is much better. While achieving 80% of a target is commendable, we can still improve, and this is how we improve. And although I still have to make edits to this draft, this one prompt will save me lots of time over the long run. In my experience, you'll know you succeeded at the intermediate level when you default to thinking, can ChatGPT help with that when faced with a new task? For example, I had to interview video editors recently, something I've never done before, but I immediately prompted ChatGPT to give me a list of questions to ask applicants to see if they're a good fit or not. All right, congrats on graduating to the advanced level. Our focus now shifts to continuous learning and minimizing the friction of using the prompts we create moving forward. Some of you might already have your own prompt database where you save prompts you come across. But there's a certain amount of friction to opening that database in Notion or wherever, opening up ChatGPT in your browser, and copy pasting that prompt over. And so we apply a productivity concept from Tiago Forte. You want to organize information, or prompts in this case, by where you will use them, not by where you found them. For example, I save prompts that help me write better newsletter articles and generate better email titles within the Notion page template where I actually draft the blog post or newsletter, right? So I can use these right away. Similarly, if you need to write the same email every week, save a prompt template using the Gmail template function so you can bring up the prompt right before composing the email as opposed to having to look for the prompt somewhere else. And of course, it doesn't hurt to keep the ChatGPT tab pinned in your browser. So after watching this video and clicking that like button, identify locations within your workflow where you can store your prompts to minimize the number of clicks that gets you to that final output. When it comes to continuous learning, there are 2 things I find to make the most impact. First, I dedicate 2 hours every week to taking a free online course on prompt engineering. And second, I spend 5 minutes a day reading a free daily newsletter that curates the latest news on AI. At this point, I need to stress that staying consistent with one course and one newsletter matters way more than trying to find the best course or best newsletter. It's just like how trying to find the best productivity app usually makes you less productive. Pick one, Todoist, TickTick, or Apple Notes, and stick with it. That being said, I personally find learnprompting.org to be super user-friendly. You basically start with the basics and work your way down. And the great part is when you finish all the content, they have an active Discord community where you can ask questions and engage with other learners who are on the same journey as you are. Newsletter-wise, I'm subscribed to Superhuman, but it's getting more bloated with too much random news and advertising. I've heard good things about the Newer Frontier, The Rundown, Prompts Daily, and Big Brain. You can subscribe to all of these, pick one you like, and after a week, unsubscribe from the rest. To quickly summarize, the goal of the course is to help you learn and get better at prompt engineering, the skill. The goal of the newsletter is to keep you up to date with the latest developments in AI and give you inspiration on what to learn next. Hence the continuous learning component. For example, I saw ChatGPT rolled out a new feature, custom instructions, from the newsletter. And this prompted me, pun intended, to do further research on how best to use it. I would love to hear your recommendations on courses and newsletters down in the comments. Check out this video on my favorite productivity tips for ChatGPT. See you on the next video. In the meantime, have a great one.